Another movie review for you. This is the 2019 movie Only You. It's a British movie and it's directed by Henry Woodliffe, who's also responsible for the story and the screenplay. He wrote the story alongside Mathieu de Bragonnier, and it's a romantic drama, and the principal characters are Lea Costa, who plays Eleanor Aldani, Josh O'Connor plays Jake, and Peter White is Josh's father, Jake's father, Andrew, who he's a significant supporting actor towards the end of this story. Basically, it's New Year's Eve. Elena has spent the evening celebrating the New Year with her friends. They're all in their mid-30s, and they all have partners. Some of them married, some of them not married, and they are also, many of them either have very small children or are about to have small children. One of Elena's friends tries to set her up with one of the single guys present, but she's not all that impressed with that. She's also slightly drunk, so she decides to hit the road and head home after the new year is brought in typical fashion. She then tries to flag down a taxi on the road, but the taxi stops for Jake, who's about 10 metres further up the road. But eventually Jake decides to offer a shared cab to Elena, and predictably what happens is she then starts to feel queasy, needs to get out. He gets out with her and helps her get home, as she's a little worse for wear, but then amazingly she recovers and they get entwined as a New Year gift to each other, and from there this romantic attachment develops. One significant part to what took place is that in the dialogue, Elena tells a small fib about her age to Josh, who is clearly younger than her. But what then develops is a relationship that becomes very physical and very emotional, and they become a couple living together. The issue then that tends to heavily be focused on is the desire that Eleanor has to have a child. Her age is, of course, eventually told as being 35, and Jake is 26, and Jake, I keep on saying Josh, his real name's Josh, but his character name's Jake. Jake is quite willing to go down this road. He's a sort of postgraduate student, marine biologist, and Eleanor works in admin, but that's insignificant. They are very much functioning as a couple, and the issue of her needing a child is the main focus of the movie. It is a very emotionally powerful piece of drama in places, and this almost obsession-like desire that Elena has to become pregnant takes over, really, and after a period of time where she doesn't conceive, the couple decide to consider IVF, intro fertilization to the uninitiated, and this then provokes a course of treatment in preparation to get her fertile enough. It's all pretty scientific, but nevertheless we follow this, and it creates a lot of stress, a lot of tension, and then the cracks start to appear within their relationship. It's all handled very, very, very well, and that says a lot to the two main characters. Lea Costa, she's a Spanish actress, but she's been in another movie a few years ago called Victoria. Josh O'Connor, I've recently seen him as Prince Charles in The Crown, so I was familiar with him. But they deliver very good performances, and we then have a series of events that are suggest that there's a crisis developing in their relationship, and certainly that is handled very sensitively. And the movie then obviously exposes some of the issues. Some memorable scenes. I found the early on in the movie, after they come back from the taxi ride, Jake starts to explore the record collection that is in the flat, and he picks out Elvis Costello and plays "I Want You," which it has a powerful impact on cementing the two together before they have passionate sex, and I thought it was quite significant. Latterly, Elena is having to take injections to improve the functionality of her eggs in the ovaries, and she becomes quite alarmed at this type of treatment. It has to be injected into the tummy area, and touchingly there's a scene where Jake shows his empathy by also conducting the injection into his tummy, and there's also periods where they have, to say the least, differences of opinion, and this is particularly prevalent after the disappointment that the first course of IVF treatment has been unsuccessful, and Elena loses it really and starts to blame everything, and suggests to Jake that he won't want to be with her because she can't provide him with a child. And all these issues, having experienced to an extent a similar thing in my own private life, they can become very powerful issues that ignite a relationship, and I thought they were handled very well in this particular drama. So what then follows is a predictable separation, but then they're both not functioning at all without each other. And the final scene that I found particularly moving was when Jake goes to live with his father. Peter White is the actor, and their mother, Jake's mother, had died at a relatively younger age, and Jake had already had this perception that the marriage was perfect, and his father tells a few home truths about that. But then there's a very sensitive scene where Andrew shows a considerable empathy towards Jake's really sadness at having separated from Eleanor, and this heart-to-heart provokes Jake to see Eleanor again, and that brings about the end of the movie. I know that's a bit of a spot spoiler, but it's a typical movie of romance with a typical ending. So that's my take on it. Finally, it was acknowledged in the recent BAFTAs, outstanding debut by a British writer, director or producer for Harry Woodliff. So it's certainly a film that needs to be seen. And it's also was acknowledged by the BAFTA Scotland Award as a Best Feature Film. So get a nomination, that is. So let's give it its worth. It's Only You, and it was released in 2019.